morning, everybody that's out there. This is top of the morning. You got Mr. Producer here today. Charlie and Paige couldn't make it, but we do have a special guest for you today. We have none other than the man himself, Mr. King of Trainers.
Hey, how you lot doing?
AKA the Connoisseur.
Connoisseur, I like that.
AKA the man of the kingdom.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, how's it going, man?
Yeah, thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.
So, man, talk to me about what's going on in the new year before we go backwards.
Oh, wow. The new year, I mean, I've got, it's crazy. I've got an award show called the Drop of the Year.
Yes.
It's the first award show for the trainer community.
Yeah.
So that's actually on the 16th of Jan, next week.
That's sold
Wednesday.
out.
Yeah,
that's sold out, right?
Yeah, sold out.
Yeah, I tried to quickly go on there.
No, but you're good. You're good.
Oh,
man.
yeah?
Just hit me
Alright,
up.
cool.
Yeah, alright, you're good.
Cool. That was a cheap little plug. So.
Yeah, nah, it's all good. It's all good.
That was a cheap plug, yeah, man. So that's been going on now for what? A couple of years? I don't know exactly.
Yeah, so it started online about 5 years ago. So this would be the 5th year in terms of the total thing.
Right.
But this is the 3rd year in terms of the actual event, physical event. Yeah. So it started on Instagram. Where I just used to ask people what their drop of the year was by voting. And then I turned it into like the website where they vote for the website. Right. And then we had our first event with Relentless. Yeah. Then last year we had an event with at the W Hotel in Piccadilly. Yeah.
I think I saw that on YouTube.
Yeah. And then this year we are in Brixton. Yeah, we're bringing it to Brixton now. Yeah. So we've got a really nice venue up there. So yeah, it should be good.
I'm from South London originally. Why Brixton?
Because, like, we got to be honest with ourselves. Like, when we're younger, I'm from Tottenham originally. Yeah. So, when we're younger, like, Brixton's the cultural hub. Like, Brixton, Tottenham, you got South and you got North. Like, we're the cultural hubs, like, I believe, of Europe. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? And sometimes when we're doing, like, award shows and stuff, we always feel the need to go to the West End or go to the different places. But the culture of what I represent, the streetwear and footwear and stuff, it came from places like Brixton. Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Yeah. So why not do an award show back home? That's the way I see it. Like, why not bring it home? So we don't have to keep on going to the Shoreditches and all these type of places. Like, we got to really start to invest in our own communities.
So I like the concept behind it, bringing it back to the community. Yeah. How do you feel that affects the community in terms of who are you trying to exactly attract in terms of when you're saying bringing it back? Because I'm guessing there'll be a lot of trainer connoisseurs there. But is it open to the?
It was, I mean, every ticket, like, I mean, on my Instagram, every ticket was open to anyone to come. So I make sure that obviously I invite people, but I make sure it's open, everyone to come. It was free. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Next year I might have to charge because it's costing me a lot of money. It's costing me a lot of money. So that's what it is, I think. But I think sometimes it's about the representation. Because if you know what's happening now, obviously gentrification and things like that. Of course, yeah. We're always moving to places like, everything has to be in Shoreditch or everything has to be in the West End. Of course. But we then neglect the places that we grew up. Yeah. You know, and then we're not actually presenting the things that we would present in the West End in the places. Yeah. I
mean, I understand. I mean, it's a bit of a spin-off, but it's like, for example, we go to those places because it's safer.
Yeah, that's what people think.
Yeah, that's what people think. Yeah. That's the general perception, but when you're trying to, I guess if you're not in your position where you're not starting out, I guess, but if you're starting out, you want to get the crowd, you want to get some people. Yeah. Those places do make a bit of sense, but it's nice to know that the thought process is to bring it back, and Brixton is gentrified.
Yeah, exactly. So it's gentrified, but even if it wasn't, I mean, I would have probably done it.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, and the thing, I think, like with me, I'm old school, so I don't go by the same principles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Course,
I just like, if it's going to be in Tottenham, it's going to be in Tottenham. If it's, you know what I mean? If you want to come. If you don't, you don't have to.
So for those that don't know a lot about this event, because even myself, I didn't know, until I started researching about yourself and the training community, I didn't know much about it. What is it that people can expect? And for those that may want to come next year, what is the actual event totally about? Okay,
so it's basically a celebration of all the trainers and the culture of the year prior. Okay. So every trainer that came out gets commented on. We kind of look at the highlights of the trainers, and the stories behind it. Because what people may not know is the trainer, UK trainer, European trainer community is massive, and there's so many stories for there's like an event for every shoe.
Of course.
So what I'm trying to do is kind of cultivate that into like, because what I don't want to happen is we're living in what me and my friend call a notification generation.
Yeah. Okay.
So from one notification you go into the next, and then you kind of lose what happened. So a lot of us, if we're honest, we can't remember what we did like last week.
Yeah,
or what came
yesterday.
out. Yeah, or what came out the year before.
Right.
So I'm just trying to kind of make it like the end stop and the first event of the year to kind of remember what happened last year.
Okay.
And to move forward, going to this year. So we do a panel, we do discussions, and it's just a great place for people to just meet up like at the end of the year. Okay. Just hang out and just chat, network. And things like that.
Yeah. I know at the moment because I've delved into designing, so I know there's a lot of designers watching. I know there's not a lot. It's difficult for UK designers maybe to implement a shoe due to the cost price.
Yes.
Is that something that if there was a designer, could they bring a shoe to you and potentially get onto the event?
Yeah. I mean it's funny you mentioned that. That's what I do. I've helped break a lot of brands when it comes to like new shoes and products and things like that. So I mean, in terms of the actual event, they can come with their shoe. We can definitely show it to people.
Yeah.
But I think what they probably would need is to probably hit me up and I'll help them promote it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
from
like
the jump.
the award show is more at the end of the year.
Okay.
So if they need that, they can kind of.
Okay. Cool. All right. So take it a bit back now. Now we know what's happening.
Yeah.
In 2019, you did a TED Talks.
Yes, yeah, I did.
Which is a great achievement, to be fair.
Thank you so much.
I noticed there was also one, I think, in Peckham at a particular point. I don't know if they did that for a specific reason at the time, but talk me through that experience, man.
Yeah, so what a lot of people don't know is that the TED Talk, so you have TEDx, which is the US big franchise. Then you have the TED Talks, which is community. It's like community based. So if I'm honest, if you have an area that has got a TED Talks, you can apply for the license to hold a TED Talks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have to pay like a fee. But once you pay the fee, you have to make sure you organize it.
Okay.
So then once you organize it, it will become like, it could be Warwick with Hackney Wick.
Yeah.
It might be Hackney, it could be Hackney Wick TED Talks. You can own that license.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where my office is, Bernie Grant, in Tottenham, they sent me a kind of things of what's happening at the place, and I said they're doing a TED Talks in Bernie Grant. I was like, what? What's going on? At the time, I was helping out Bernie Grant with their social media.
Okay.
And then I said, no, I need to be involved in this.
Yeah.
So I hit up the people. I said, look, any help you need. Not even as a speaker, like I just wanted to help out.
Okay.
Then the people who were organising it, they gave me a call. They said, "Oh, we've seen your profile online. We definitely want to have a meet with you."
Right. Yeah.
So we had a meeting. They said, like, would you like to? They just asked me like to speak, not knowing that the people who organised it, they're like a family friend.
Yes.
Like kids. And then I said, "Oh, like," and then it just kind of connected from there. And then they were like, "No, we really want you to talk about a topic."
Yeah, you touched on how you feel social media should be taught in school.
That's it.
Yeah, I want you to touch more on that.
Yeah, so my talk was called The Social Media Mind. And I think that it stemmed from like the riots.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of Tottenham. I was the person that was starting the Tottenham Rights hashtag.
Okay, yeah.
To kind of,
you mentioned, you said
to kind of get people to stay at home. But I think around that time, when the riots happened, a lot of people blaming social media, WhatsApp, saying the kids are sharing stuff, etc., etc. But what we have to understand is that the kids nowadays, if you're born probably from about 2003, you're born into a social media generation. Yeah. So all you know is how to use social media, your phone. You're born into that. Yeah. But you're born into something that you haven't been taught. Okay, yeah. So something that is very powerful. So how do we blame someone? It's like giving your son a loaded gun and just saying, "Here, just play with it." You know what I mean? You can shoot him exactly, and that's social media. True, social media.
You see the events like Stormzy, Kevin Hart.
Yeah. You say the wrong thing. Yeah, you say the wrong thing. You think it's innocent, and then all of a sudden, people are holding you accountable. 10 years, 15 years, like it's crazy what's happening now. But I feel that the government's not doing enough to teach young kids. I'm talking from like as soon as they can use social media devices.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the legal age, what people may not know, is actually 13. You know, yeah, the social media age is 13. It's not. I shouldn't say the legal. It's the age that all social media require you to be. They need to enforce that as a legal requirement.
Funny enough, I had the same conversation with a friend of mine talking about social media and the young children under the age of 18, and should they actually really be using social media, or should parents that want their children to maybe be involved in activities like music, acting, and all those things, should the parents have an account that they can actually, see and have keywords that alert parents?
Yeah, that's what I teach. So that's what I teach. I definitely think if your child's above 13, they're allowed to be on social media.
Okay.
However, if your child's under the age of 18, you still are allowed to have control.
Yes.
So you're allowed to have their passwords.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have access to. It's not an invasion of privacy under the age of 18. Well, that's what parents don't know.
Yeah.
So this is the type of things that I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to tell to parents. Look, you're allowed to do all these things. No matter if your kid's 16, they think they're a big man, or a big woman. You're still allowed to do these things. So these are the type of things that parents need to understand. They shouldn't be afraid. And I come from a generation where, like, my parents are a lot older, so they wouldn't even know where to begin. And there's a lot of parents that may not know where to begin, but that's what I'm trying to kind of teach.
I mean, I agree. I totally agree. Just thinking about it now, I'm thinking, right, if I was born in this generation, when I think about when I grew up when I was younger, my mum didn't know the nonsense that I got to.
Of course.
It's a bit unfair.
But you see,
but I understand.
Yeah.
Children kill themselves.
Yeah.
Suicide.
It's at a crazy rate.
Peer pressure is serious.
It's serious.
Bullying.
I think the times like we probably grew up. I'm an old man, even though I look young.
I'm 30 on.
Okay, cool. Well, probably just I'm hitting the other side of that. But so basically, I think what we have to understand is everything moves with the times. So when we were younger, we were probably in an era where things were more visual, like in front of us.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? So if you had a problem with someone, you normally will have a problem with them face to face.
Yeah.
At least, or over the phone. But if it's a real problem, you're gonna have a face to face conversation.
And you only have two options.
Do you get what I mean?
Sink or swim.
Yeah. Do you get what I mean? And I think that would hold us in a light where we can kind of face our problems and do our problems there and then.
Right.
And it goes. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes away, or it may, I'm not saying it gets serious, but whatever it may be. But then social media, these are problems that don't go away.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
They're there.
They're there. It's on social media. Someone's bullied you, someone's called you names, etc., etc. And it's like, how do you not combat that unless we have control? Unless a parent steps in and says, you know how kids are. Kids are ruthless right now. Kids are just savages. They will say anything to destroy anything, and they do it all on social media.
They do.
But when you meet them in public, like with myself, I've got a big following. I know it comes with a following. I wear a crown, I wear a robe, people laugh, people make jokes. But I let people know that this is just an image, innit?
Yeah,
but when you see me, don't think that it's like that. And, And the problem is, in public, no one's ever said nothing bad to me. But on the social media, they always want to throw shots and all that sort of stuff.
Of course.
So these are the problems. These are the problems. Because if we're honest, social media changes people's state of mind.
It does.
There's so many. Like, imagine having a device that you can reach 1,000 people just straight away.
Crazy.
Do you get what I mean? Just like that. You can affect 1,000 people's lives just like that by what you say. Good or bad. And when you say bad, people jump on you. So 1,000 people attack you. Even in the comments, you might leave a comment underneath someone's picture, and you see it. That's
happened to me in the shade room, where leave a comment on the shade room
that
the women don't agree with.
Yeah, you're finished.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they will say any disrespectful thing that comes into their mind. But imagine you're 12.
Yeah.
You're 12, and then
hold that thought there. We're gonna come back right in. Yeah, sorry, yeah. So just to recap, we're talking about the bullying on the social media.
So I mean, it's just really just like if you're of a young age, you're very vulnerable. Do you get what I mean? And you get attacked on social media, you actually really think it's real. Yeah, it's a bit like when we're younger. If you get attacked in school, it used to hurt so much.
It did.
You know, it used to hurt so much.
People laugh. Yeah. Right directly in front of you.
And then, but that day, the next day, you're cool because it's gone. Like everyone's laughing and they keep it moving.
That's it.
But on social media, you don't even know these people and they're laughing at you. They're attacking you. Yeah. Then tomorrow they might come back and attack you. Again, then then if it's unfortunately, like there's certain viral things that happen.
Or a meme.
Then you know, there's. I mean, every New Year's there's a meme that goes around about that gentleman.
Dominic.
Yeah. You know.
Do you know what I mean? But at least he was. The thing is with him, he got caught doing it.
Yeah.
With some people, with some of the acts that get caught, I mean, on social media that go viral.
Yeah.
I think personally, you just have to firm it.
Yeah, you have to. But
you had no fear doing it in a public place, in an open forum.
And I agree with you. But what if you're young, and do you get what I mean?
And you made a mistake.
You made a mistake, and obviously he wasn't young. He's a big man in it.
William Hill, I think it was out of that. It was,
So, but what if you're young?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, what if, God forbid, he was underage?
Underage.
Yeah, that's the next.
Yeah. Especially obviously vulnerable for young females who may involve themselves in activities where guys record.
This is what I'm saying. So we need to be parents, and I think we all need to be parents. We need to.
I think we're living in a generation where being a parent-minded, if that's even the right term to use, is important for you.
100%.
We need to look after all the kids, but at the same time as well, I think, like they say, charity starts at home. You know, a lot of these parents that are younger parents need to really address these situations because they understand social media. Yeah,
they have to. They have to. And for those who don't understand, that's what my TED Talks is about. It's teaching the kids, teaching the parents, teaching the teachers, not to how to deal with these type of things. Because at the end of the day, it's a territory that just people just.
Surely the policing needs to come in. I mean, I'm not advocate of Scotland Yard and the police. I think some kind of policing on
100%
in terms of memes, in terms of
100%
all these kind of videos. You know, there should be some kind of internet policing because you can still put up. Instagram's a funny thing. I've seen accounts get shut down. For the smallest of things.
And
then you've got some really
hardcore accounts,
and they're still there.
And this is what I'm saying,
and it's all for them. It's all for their pockets. Because the likes.
They know the accounts that have lots of things. But it's funny. One of the guys that I follow, I'm just bait, or I'm not bait. He got shut down recently. He's a good guy. I like. He's a good guy. But
I got love for I'm just bait, man.
But he's 2.5 million just gone like that.
And again, people. I keep telling people about businesses and structure, and it's important that you should have your own mailing list because, again, we're not in control
of that.
Of these platforms. We're not in control.
Exactly.
So if you don't have a mailing list to support you, in the event of being shut down,
this is what I'm saying, and this is the reason why I'm trying to do more events. To bring people so that I'm, because now. I've got to the stage where, not saying I don't need my social media, but people know me,
of course,
just by my face.
Just by and the community.
So I don't have to go everywhere and say I'm the king of trainers. So so if God forbid it gets shut down, I can still do maneuver.
While we're on that topic of king of trainers, talk to me about how you started with that, because you had a YouTube channel. You stopped the YouTube, and then what did you just do? Did you just decide to go to the gram?
No, well, I mean, it's so the real backstory is like since I was a kid, I've always had the King of Trainers name as a nickname.
Right, because you had like 5,000.
No, not 5,000. 5,000. I ain't gonna say 5,000. I had a lot of pairs. But what it's them from like it was my mum. She used to love tennis. So this is the 80s. So she used to love Boris Becker. So anything Boris Becker wore, Pumas and all that, she'd be like, oh, is this Boris Becker, like Ghanaian household.
Yeah.
This Boris Becker, like, so they always go on recommendation, innit?
Yes.
So anything that he wore, I was getting. So I was
Right,
good like that. So I'll go to school and they'll be like, bro, those are nice. But it wasn't until I started to go to the States in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Right, okay.
And back those times, you go to New York, you pick up a pair of trainers. It won't come here for another 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'll wear them. People be like, I ain't seen those before.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Franklin, you're the king.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the nickname kind of grew, you know.
Okay.
And it was very localized. Like social media wasn't around, so it was very like North London thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I've done various things in the community. Like I had a trainer studio.
Okay.
In Wood Green.
Okay.
I used to supply people like Chickmonk and North Marvel and those guys, PW and stuff.
Marvel, that's taking it back.
Yeah. So and PW and stuff with a few bits and a few other like people. But then it was always a localized thing.
Okay.
So in '99 actually I bought thekingoftrainers.com.
Okay.
Like, I tried to do a website back then, but it just didn't work. Back then the internet was crazy. I didn't know what was going on.
It was the real wild west back then.
Yeah, for the internet, yeah. So I let the names go. It lapsed, and you know, and I was just, but I always had this kind of thing with the King of Trainers thing.
Right.
So I was going to like around about just under 10 years ago. There was like a few events popping up around London. So I'll go to these events and I'll look around and I'll be like, hold on, this isn't really this like the scene. Like people are looking at me like, why am I here? Type of thing. So, you know, I was like, nah, like I got this brand. I need to kind of like revive it.
Yeah.
But the real kind of push came. My friend on Twitter said, Nike, I won't just do it. Hey, that's only possible. Nothing. Why doesn't a certain trainer company speak to the King of Trainers?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that trainer company. I'm not gonna say. I don't want to get into legal trouble, but that trainer company must have had a big account at the time, and they were attacking me. What people don't know is that particular trainer company used to use the tagline King of Trainers, and they stopped it and went with best of the best. Okay. Yeah, and wow. And basically, like they were using best of the best for like the noughties, so the O's going up. So when this is when Twitter was, this was like 2011, when Twitter was really kind of starting to pop off. They just attacked me when my friend tweeted that. So like I had a Twitter account and with King of Trainers and they were like, you're an imposter and all this type of thing on Twitter. Yeah. Back then in Twitter, if you had 10,000 followers, you were someone. It was like, oh my God, you got 10,000 followers. Yeah, definitely. You know. So it was kind of that situation, and I was just tweeting saying like, it's cool, like what's going on, very friendly and stuff. They were just like going ham, and it looked very unprofessional, like a big account doing that. So we left it. About 2 weeks after that exchange, I get a legal document which they actually sent to my parents' house because I had registered. They found where I registered names. This was years ago. They went in, they found a address and they sent me a legal document, a cease and desist. They've done a bit of research saying that I've got a few things that they can take off me. Okay. And they're saying like we're gonna sue you if you don't give back the names. Wow. So like I wrote back to their lawyers, third biggest intellectual property lawyers in the country, and I was like, look, like can we talk about this? And their lawyers basically wrote back to me and said, no, like we're giving you kind of like a certain time to comply. Right. Okay. And being where I'm from, I'm not gonna have that. So
trying to cut a man's peer.
Yeah. So basically, and this was before like I kind of had the online brand. Okay. I had it as a personal brand. Me and my friends used to know it. So I was like, I'd done some research, and I paid a few people to kind of in the legal field to see my options.
To figure it out.
Yeah. But then I found a little grey area with trademark law. Okay. And then I wrote, I got on the phone to their lawyers and I said, look, hi, it's the King of Trainers here. And then the lawyers was on the phone saying, you're not allowed to use that name. Yeah. Like, who do you think you are? Type of thing. Yeah. And I said, well, actually I am. And then like, the lawyer on the phone was like, she was attacking me. Yeah, of course. Saying, don't you understand? Like, we can take this, we could do this, we could do that.
They have no respect. Yeah. They're looking at you, man. Yeah. They look at the postcode.
Yeah. And that's from Tottenham. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. So then when I said, okay, like, let's go to court, it went from attack to concern. She was like, are you sure? And this is me. And then she just couldn't believe
that you was prepared.
Yeah,
Again, a man from Tottenham.
This is it.
Do you know what I mean? They use your government name, so they probably see the government and thought, oh, okay. We can scare this one off.
Well, actually, the first time they said dear sirs, and then they just done it like it was a par. Like, this is the trademark. This is what we're doing. You know, but I found a little grey area in trademark law, and then I just said, well, actually, I'm allowed to do what, you know, what I want.
Yeah.
So then she was like, don't you understand that this particular sports company own this brand, they own that brand, etc., etc. And the reason why I'm not naming them because we're cool now. I don't want to. We're cool.
But
now,
they had to cut the check.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna cut, the check,
this is what I'm saying. So basically,
gotta cut that check.
That got discussion went into I'm gonna send a legal documents.
Yeah.
What's your legal team so they can put that on, like, you know, who's gonna represent me? I said, no, I'm gonna defend myself.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe it. She was on the phone like, what?
She's probably figured to herself, what is it that you have?
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, okay, like, you know, I'm gonna go. I'm willing to lose it all. You know, I was like really to, you know, I'm stubborn like that.
Yeah, of course.
So then I said, okay, I'll wait for the legal documents, and then I waited about probably like up to like 3 or 4 months.
Right.
Then I get a letter, which I'm sure they must have, in that time, they must have been like, oh, hold on, like
something's not right.
Yeah. I got a letter and it said, the first letter was like, dear sirs. Then the second letter was like, dear Mr. Watson, actually our clients no longer want to pursue this matter. You're free to kind of do what you want. At that time, what the public may not know is that this particular sports company then rebranded all their shops King of Trainers, and they set up a campaign, Undisputed King of Trainers, Undefeated King of Trainers.
I think I know the brand because I think I remember. I think I remember the term. Yeah.
So this particular, and that's what they did. So when you go there now, they might have Undisputed, Undefeated, and all that.
Yeah.
They're talking about me.
Me.
Yeah. So you know, but you know, God being so good, I set up the Instagram. I jumped on YouTube. I tried to do the YouTube thing, but unfortunately, I had a team and they weren't really churning it because I'm a workaholic. I can churn stuff out, you know.
Yeah.
So I was looking at what platforms I could really grow it quickly.
Exactly.
At the time, Instagram was starting to pop. This was before the pop, but even saying that, I registered the name a year after Instagram had popped. Right, so the name was still available. So I was like, okay, someone needs to get sacked then, you know. So I put the name out. And then to really get kind of noticed, I think I went to like a footwear event and I wore a crown.
Right, okay.
And people who knew me like in the scene, they were like, Franklin, why are you wearing a crown for?
Yeah,
like, what's going on? And
was that Crep City?
Yeah. And it was like what's this about? So I told them the story and I'm like, oh wow, like we didn't know. You get me?
Yeah.
But then I think it really kind of got heated when, like, I wore the crown, a robe, and slippers to the next event.
Yeah.
And then that's when it was like, yo, it was crazy. Like the internet melted, like in terms of the sneakernet.
Yeah.
Like people were like, who does he think he is?
Yeah, of course.
Why does he call himself the king?
Yeah.
All this type of thing. But I mean, I don't harm no one, innit? I'm just doing me. So
it was a provocative strategy that worked.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be provocative to be noticed, and you did that. And
this is it. And then like the following stuff, and I started just to post news because I wasn't using my brand to just promote me.
Right.
So what I used my brand is to promote everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone else, and just keep on like putting stuff out for people, and it was like. It was just crazy. It just started to grow and grow and grow, and I think I was the first like individual person to go for 100,000 followers.
Right. Okay.
In,
is that from the footwear community?
In the footwear community.
Yeah, of course.
And it went bonkers, and then like God being so good, that particular company we're talking about, they paid me to post up on my Instagram.
Right. Hold on that.
Yeah.
Let's come back in with the industry now looking at you. Or using your followers and your marketing strategies and your social media influence. Before you got to the 100K, for someone else out there, that wants to follow in your footsteps, for example, we understand the hard work, dedication, but at what point did it did you realize that actually I'm onto something when you maybe got like your first retainer?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that happen? How do you?
Okay, so
if you want to share that.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm I'll give you the secrets, man. I'll let it go. I mean, so with me, I realized that my strategy had to be a bit different. I had to make a niche strategy that people would want to always kind of look at, you know. And I know people love trainers. Yeah. So I looked at like all the kind of releases, and I just kept on posting. Okay. At one time, I was posting like 20 pictures a day.
So what, at this point, are you actively buying them, or are you going to the shops?
No. So it was just news in the start. So I'll look at the way the news works in the footwear industry is like you have bigger sites in the States. They give the news maybe like when we're sleeping. So what will happen is we would then wake up to the news. Right. So what I would do is I'll wake up earlier than everyone else. Okay. And then I will post it before everyone else. Right. Okay, yeah. Cool. So I'll go on all the sites and stuff, like the ones in the States, because they might post it like maybe at like 8 or 10 in the evening there. Okay. Yeah. And then so then that's kind of where it went. And I would just post, and then once my following started to grow, the first company to really kind of look after me was Diodora. Okay. Hence why I always rock Diodora.
Shout out Diodora.
Yeah.
I take double XL.
Okay.
Double XL.
I'll holler at them.
For you. Thanks, man.
What shoe size?
10s.
10. Okay, 10. Yeah. Okay, nice one. Yeah. So they DM'd me and they said we like what you're doing. Okay. Just send us your office address. Like, I wasn't even expecting like anything too big, but then about a couple weeks later they sent me like 10 pairs. Right. Like over £1,000 worth of trainers. And at the time these trainers were hot, so the resale value was even crazier. Okay. The retail value was over 1,000. Right. But then the resale value would have been probably like $2,000 or $3,000. Okay. At the time. Yeah. So I was like, oh wow, I can get some trainers. Like, yeah. And then
is that them sending them to you to have, or to promote, to give
to
back?
To have.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. My size, to have.
At this point they're heavily invested in you. And at what point was your sorry to cut you? At what point was your Instagram following?
So at that point, I think I was between 15 to 25,000 followers. Okay. Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
That was years ago. That was probably about 4 years ago.
So maybe give or take now, maybe 50,000 before.
Yeah.
Check you now, because 50,000 back then.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Was a big deal.
Yeah. But it's not. You know what I always tell people? It's not about the amount of followers, and I think a lot of people get that misconception. Yes. It's really about the niche in your voice, and if you're doing something different. Okay. Because what I do on social media is, even though I say the news, I give my opinion. Right. Okay. And I really try to provoke conversation, and and if people want to vent, they can vent. Like as long as you're not rude about it, but just So even if you had 1,000 followers, if your opinion is strong enough that people can really be affected by it, I always say this, like, on social media, you're only going to get a maximum between 5 and 10% of your following's worth. Yeah. That's the rule of thumb. 10%, But if you get 10%, you're a really big influencer. Like, I'm talking about, if you get 10% of your following, you're like, wow, these guys, The reason why I say that is when you compare the percentages, like maybe to like the biggest people in the world, like Kim Kardashian, Beyonce, they've got over 100 million, but you'll never find one picture with over 10 million likes. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Of course. So what people have to understand is that you can have 100 followers, but if you put out something and you get 50 to 100 likes, or they're buying 50 to 100 tickets of out of that 100 followers, you're a bigger influencer than the people that are. Do you get what I mean? Because you're got
real engagement.
Real engagement and real buying power. Yeah. So this is what people have to understand is the problem is we're living in this generation that people think following is everything, and it's not. It's how are you affecting your audience? Yeah. You can have a small community, but people be like, bro, this person's doing well in his community. He's an influencer. I think we get this misconception. It does look good, don't get me wrong, in what I do, but it's not the be all and end all. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys are starting out, find a niche. Okay. Find a niche and target niche, and try not to copy what everyone else is doing. Right. Because the minute you do that, they would rather choose someone bigger, if I'm honest. Okay. Because they would be like, if you're copying what the big person's copying, why don't we just go to the big person? And just, you have to kind of really find your lane.
Yeah. So with the so are you ever gonna go back on the YouTube, or are you Instagram based now?
Yeah, no, I mean, I done it all. I had the website, had everything.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to YouTube.
Okay.
I'll go back to YouTube, but I'm looking at other platforms.
Okay.
Yeah, any new platforms. I'm looking at that too, because I feel that my brand. 'Cause I do a lot of different things. I do presenting. You know, I do talks. I do so many different things. We've got like a podcast for sneakers, which we're gonna revive. You get what I mean?
Wicked.
So it's, you know, it's just I feel that I need to spread myself out on different platforms. Yeah.
So do you have, for example, for example, are you how exposed are you to the UK scene with the trainers, or do you have a way of when I mean the UK scene, I mean, for example, singers, rappers, even now actors, like, you know, you got Damson Idris that's doing well in America with Snowfall, and you know, you got the Stormzy, and you just had the is it the LE magazine?
Yeah, L magazine. They done a cover.
That big cover there. Where do you see the sneaker industry fitting in? Because the scene needs to grow.
Yeah.
And I've been having this conversation with a lot of people saying, okay, cool, our music scene now is doing something. We're starting to do something with the film industry, but in terms of the sneaker world, like the sneaker world isn't the UK scene.
I totally hear you saying. I mean,
how are we able to marry that to increase buying power for everyone? As a market?
I mean, I think I do like what Skepta done with Nike and what Stormzy's doing with Adidas.
Okay.
And I think more of that needs to happen. I think we need to start to get away from worshipping Americans.
Yes.
You know, and when we can get away from that, and then the brands actually say, you know what, why don't we give Stormzy his shoe, which they've done? Why don't we give Skepta their his shoe? And then why don't we give someone who's not as big as them an opportunity to promote and think, and which they are doing.
Okay.
It's just that, you know, since we're young, we've always been brainwashed with American culture.
Yeah, of course.
It's just fact. So we always see American culture as the ultimate. Oh wow, the Yeezys or this and it's American and it's all shiny and stuff. But, you know, why don't we just start to shout about the UK people the same way?
I wouldn't get caught dead in Stormzy's shiny. Is it £300 thingy?
Yeah.
Shout out to Stormzy though. Keep doing your thing, brother.
the traders.
I just wouldn't.
But no, I mean, but this is the thing. I think we need to really put more. We need to celebrate our own more. No doubt. Then the brands will start to say, well, they're celebrating people more. Let's go for it.
Where do you fit in there? Because the question is, where do you see yourself fitting in?
Well, for me, I'm a gatekeeper in no, I shouldn't say that actually. I'm not a gatekeeper in that way, but I'm like the first point of call, if I'm honest. And then a lot of the entertainers follow me and stuff. So they may see, okay, he's put it up, like, let's go and see where we can get it. So I don't see myself as a celebrity or in that kind of realm.
Well, you're there. You're in that realm.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But I see myself more as like a storyteller, like someone who can, you know, who can tell the stories and the histories of where these pieces came from, you know, and also respect the people who came before me.
Of course.
You know, because I think we shouldn't live in a generation where we just think we're it. Do you get what I mean?
I think that was the original problem we were having in the UK. So, you know, we would forget about, you know, Skinny Man and Black Twang and say, well, I'm Wiley now. I don't really know. Like, I was doing grime and I don't really know about these rapping guys. And now we've got, like, you know, then we move on to, I don't know, at the time, let's just say maybe when Chipmunk came in and he said, well, I came through with Wiley, but I'm doing my thing. And then he went to the hip hop thing and then we've gone back and then Skepta's like, well, I'm doing my thing, and we've got so much of I'm doing my thing so many times. We need to. We just need to just say this is where we started, and this is where we are,
and have respect. Like, we need to, you know, we need to really kind of showcase that. I think the problem is, especially in the footwear industry, there's a lot of, because we're living in such a social media era, there's a lot of things that gonna get overlooked. So there's a lot of people who started before me, the cultural, because if I'm honest, the people that I used to follow were road guys. You know, their styles, their fashion and stuff.
Road man have always got the
you know, the money, So they will have the nice cars, the nice jewelry, the nice trainers and stuff. And I mean, I grew up at a time where I was working and getting money, and I could kind of emulate that without having to do what they did.
But
so
the image is what people buy.
This is what I'm saying. So, but it's also good to recognize that, and a lot of them are not on social media. So, who's going to tell that story? Who's going to say, you know, because these brands sometimes they get it wrong. They say that it came from this, and this is how it started. And I'm like, nah, I didn't. No, you know, and that's where I see myself, like to point them. Brands know I'm not afraid to tell them they're wrong. They know that, you know, and I think that's where maybe people respect my opinion. And even if you don't respect my opinion, they hear it. Yeah. They're like, well, yeah, maybe let's listen to what he's saying, you know.
So are you a part of like any designs that we should know about? Are there any trainers out there that you can actually say, I played a part in those, but yet no one will know? And don't give us the legal spiel, please.
I can't say.
Even Kish Cash was here, and he gave us some insight and some Pumas that I think he did like 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, Kish Cash, he's my guy, man. He is a real connoisseur. I'm not in his league. I'll be honest, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Apparently got 5,000 bloody shoes or whatever.
Yeah, no, so Kish, yeah, you can't touch Kish. Kish is on a different level, man.
Okay, so you're not going to spill any designs?
No. But all I can say is that most of the big brands you see out there,
right?
Accessory brands, you know, I've events.
Okay.
You know, I've helped out. You've helped out in some way. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So now we've gone through that. Talk me through ahead of what can we see you do, or what would you like to see happen in the next 2-3 years in terms of your addition to, I say, the UK scene, and I say for trainers, and I say for the community?
Well, for me,
besides the event, of course, coming
yeah. For me,
what's your vision?
The vision. Next? So for me, it's just to educate more. Okay. You know, but also kind of get the youngsters to really appreciate what they're buying, because I really feel that we're living in a generation where, and the brands are manipulating us a little bit. They're releasing.
Have you seen
trainers?
I don't have no legal obligation. These Balenciagas, these Alexander McQueens. Don't get me wrong. I want them for style and grace, but the shoe itself.
And I honestly don't think that the kids really appreciate it. Like when I was younger, I had to take care of my stuff. That's part of the reason why people call me the king, because I've got the memorabilia. I've got the old trainers that I whip out.
Okay, cool.
Like, oh, those, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those situations where I definitely feel that going forward, it's just to really kind of tell the story. Be someone that people can kind of say like, nah, he's here to tell the story and stuff like that. I don't want, you know, I'm not saying I don't want no real accolades, but I want the brands to understand that people who are in the old generation shouldn't be forgotten also. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Because I think what's happening now is they're always looking at the young generation. They're always looking at, oh, it's all about the new kids and
they have the disposable income. From a business perspective, I can understand why they do that.
We have more.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
or maybe not.
maybe you. But I'm not. But on a, I feel like, well, when I look at in a business sense of things, sometimes, not saying that I know everything about business, to be fair, but just if you can consistently ask your mum or your dad to buy you trainers, you have more income than someone who has to go to work and earn and then justify
why you're buying
the shoe.
I totally
That's
understand.
why I believe
I totally understand.
The kids.
Yeah, but I think also they're putting a strain on parents.
Oh, of course, they're killing the parents. They're killing the parents.
So we need to kind of, and if I'm honest, they're not going to stop. They're going to release trainers every week like they normally do. Yeah. Because back in the day, you had to wait a year, half a year to get a pair. Then you have 2 pairs a year, one shoe, one nice one going out. That's
exactly.
But nah, the kids are just they're wild.
It's like the iPhone, man. Not much is changing.
I know.
But mass production is
crazy. But see now, it hurt Apple recently. They lost 30% of their 40%. Share price. So even now they're starting to see, hold on, this isn't working.
I mean, I had this conversation yesterday with someone, and again with a pinch of salt, they lost 30%. But their reserves are 280 billion in liquid cash reserves. Yeah. So to lose 40 million in terms of stock price, like Apple could go to zero today and then reinvent themselves with 50 billion.
Yeah.
What company has 50 billion to restart up?
I know.
So
I know. No, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree. But I think, you know, brands just have to be kind of more responsible. And I think my job is to let them know to be more responsible, because I think a lot of people. I'm not really kind of held back by contractual obligation, but I can say what I want.
Yeah.
You know, I can say no, it's cool, it's not cool, and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I believe a lot of brands have been getting away with too much for too long.
Yeah, they have.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, so now we have to start to be like, you know what, you guys, you gotta really.
I feel like with trainers, my main issue with trainers, I think, is like pricing. I feel like, you know, it costs you £20 to make a shoe. Don't get me wrong, I get Nike. Yeah, do your thing. Adidas, Reebok, do your thing. You know, £100, £120 for a pair of kicks. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're going into, like, I know people that spend £400 or £500 on a pair of Nikes, and I just think to myself, yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, man. I mean, the thing about it is we're living in a culture, or society, I should say, that is the inclusion generation. So now the way things are is that they could release something,
right,
and people actually feel, if I don't have it, I'm missing out on something so special.
Yes.
So that's where the price starts to go up
with the SKs.
Do you get? I mean, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So what will happen is, when the price goes up, people fight that extra harder to get it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I need
my pair quickly.
Yeah, I need my pair, and it gets crazy. You know, I mean, I don't know if you saw, I posted up a video of a fight outside.
Yeah, I noticed that. I saw that on Instagram. Yeah, I see people fighting, and yeah. You know, spread your concern about.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I think I sit.
That spoiled that event, right?
Yeah.
Something happened where it spoiled the event, or people couldn't go back to the.
Yeah. Because well, it was. I mean, I don't think that was based on me. I think by me speaking out, because my whole thing was, like, you know, there was people in the video with chairs and things. I'm not trying to incriminate anyone.
Yeah, of course.
But I was like, don't kill no one, innit? Do you get what I mean? Like, please, like, this is traders. Let's put this in perspective. Don't kill no one trying to buy a pair of trainers.
Okay.
You know, and the brand, the shop at the time, they were like, he's probably right. And I don't think it was me. I think it's evident. It's not. I don't think it's
of course, yeah. But I mean, you touching light on that. I mean, for me, I'm quite new to I'm quite new to the world of trainers.
Okay.
And I'm quite new to your role in the industry. But when like you're saying about America, with the overselling of America and the over wanting to be a part of America, I do hope for your sake you can have those executive roles.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Because more like yourselves from the UK are needed to shape the culture, and for us also to have opportunity to have people that we can trust in that position to kind of shape how things
I totally
work.
agree with you.
Because I think
totally
what you're doing, you've had to do it ground up to then be respected as an influencer, to speak about a trainer. But I don't think you should stop here.
No. I mean, I totally agree with you. You know, shout out Forcefield. You know, I do. They're a protector company, and they've brought me on as a, you know, I consult for them. You know, I promote for them, and I'm their ambassador. And I think I can definitely do those roles.
I think you could do more, though.
Yeah, and I'm trying.
I think you could.
I'm trying.
You could do an easy role, man. I think you could. I think you can.
I'm trying. But I think, I mean, I've still got a lot of work to do, I believe, personally. You know, I don't think, you know, a lot of brands may not be ready for me. I've got a lot of energy.
Right.
But I do believe that, you know, if God blesses me, I'm willing to take that challenge.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'm willing to take that challenge.
I definitely feel that you need it and you deserve it. And other people that are doing what you're doing,
100%,
that are from the scene, you know,
100%.
need that, because I feel like there's not enough. I don't feel like there's enough. What's the right word I'm looking for here? I don't think that there's enough inclusion. So you've got these execs, they sell these trainers, but they're not. They exploit the culture, but yet they don't assist the culture. So, for example, I'll say straight up, because I have no obligations.
No, go on.
Like, for example, what does Diodora do for the community outside of trainers? So what's Diodora doing for example, we've got an epidemic of kids killing themselves for all sorts of different types of pressures. Trainers is definitely one of them.
100%.
And obviously clothing as well.
Totally.
Not just Diodora, Nike, Reebok, Adidas. Now in America, you know, you can be someone maybe because you're a rapper, then you can go into providing trainers, and then you know you can somehow marry it through and have communities be able to aspire maybe to want to buy those trainers because they know someone that's symbolic in that field. But for you, for someone that's there, what's Diodora doing? You know, can they put on an event?
Yeah, so
for the children to stop the knife crime.
Yeah.
You know, what can a young designer? How can they get in? Because as a rapper, you know, you go on YouTube.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You do your SBTVs, you do your grime dailies, you do your D's, you do your that. And then you got a chance to be seen, heard, and make an income.
I totally understand. I hear where you're coming from, and this is. I'm happy you mentioned that because I set up a company called Footwear Jobs. Yeah, so it's a platform called Footwear Jobs. So it's a blogging website where it offers jobs in the footwear industry. You know, I've done a partnership with Foot Locker. I'm helping them out with content for employment, and so the brands are now starting to see that they need to open up their roles because. If I'm honest, business is business.
Of course.
So they can't. They can do more, and we're pressuring them to do more. That's what we're there for. But I know that they are trying to open up their roles, make their roles more transparent, to let young people in to get these jobs. Because at the end of the day, like my whole thing is, there's so many jobs out there. Like what you may not know is there's 100 current vacancies right now for Foot Locker in the UK. Like,
is that? I'm not talking. Foot soldier. I mean, real roles. That's
real
someone
roles.
That's gone to university.
Yeah, no, real. Like, okay, so that's 100 foot soldier roles, but there's another 100 real roles, like in head offices around Europe,
that's
like
what
things
I'm
like
talking
that.
about.
You know, in the actual footwear industry, there's 3,000 current vacancies right now of real roles. Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
It's just that what I'm trying to lobby these companies to do is make them more transparent because everything's internal. When you if I'm honest, when you're young, you try to search for a job, it's a headache. You don't even know where to start.
Especially with the creative industry.
Yes.
It's not as simple as I'm a doctor, NHS sort me out, or government, and I can. You got the creatives. You know, you go to do you do your fashion. I see a lot of girls going into fashion. You know, man, them also going into fashion, designing, and you know, you see them fall off, but it's like, you know, you see them design stuff. You think, wow. It's so hard. Yeah.
And this is the thing. So with the companies, I'm really trying to get them to kind of say, okay, what can we offer? What roles can we offer? Because at the end of the day, like, you know, unfortunately, a lot of these young people, when they may be committing crime, they could be wearing sportswear. So these sportswear companies have an obligation. They have an obligation to these young people.
Look when Nike did that balaclava thing. Come on. But this is what I'm saying. Who
is in the
position?
Quality control. The quality control. And I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Like, you know, a lot of the companies.
Someone like yourself, had you been in that role, and I'm not just saying this because I'm interviewing you, but I feel like someone that's from the scene, from the culture, knows that.
There's certain things. I'm with you, man.
Come on.
I'm totally with you, you know. And I mentioned that on my page. I mentioned it. And I you know, and the problem is, you see, sometimes when you mention these things, you get backlash. So the companies get upset. They get upset. But the truth is the truth, innit? It's the truth is the truth.
That can, we need to. You've got someone that's going to be able to say it, and you know.
This is it, and stand by it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why, like, I like my independence. If I'm honest, because you know, I think if I started to work for a particular company, I'll be restricted.
Of course,
you know. But I can consult, and I have consulted for a lot of the brands. Currently, you know, I've worked with nearly every footwear company.
Yeah, of course.
And there's still a lot more to do. I definitely think that the culture needs to be represented.
I feel like they have a social obligation, man. You know, to
100%.
To, you know, because all these kids and adults, you know, we're buying these trainers, and there's, you know, as an ecosystem, it's only going one way.
Yeah.
It's
to the brands. Yeah.
It's going to the brands, but there's nothing coming back. You know, for example, it's only fresh, it's only new, but you know, Stormzy's taken 4 kids, you know, 2 now, 2 this year, and that's Cambridge, a little bit of something of just out of those 4 kids, if they were watching Stormzy on his YouTube, generating him money to get views, at least.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, of course. What he done is like, people don't understand. Like, it's groundbreaking.
This is
like,
it.
I'm not being
Black man in England.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm taking 4 black kids.
Yeah, to Cambridge. Cambridge? Cambridge. Yeah.
So yeah, man.
One of the biggest, you know, university institutions in the world. One of the most respected. So that was phenomenal. You know, I mean, I wish I can get a sports company to do that, but There's other schemes they do. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you go. First of all, thank you for coming down.
No, thank you so much, man. Yeah. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having a chat with you. We'll definitely catch up in the year.
Yes.
Let the people know all your socials.
Yeah, thank you. So, my Instagram, King of Trainers. You can find it everywhere. To be fair, Twitter, Facebook, kingoftrainers.com. I still need to update my site, but and then just feel free to Google my personal name, Franklin Boateng, Boatng, and then you can see what I've done.
Cool, man. Guys, signing out, man.
Peace.